Silence first. Before the mind reaches for an explanation. Before you judge yourself. Before you whisper the familiar insult, I'm stupid. I'm slow. Something is wrong with me. Stop. Stand still here. Because what if the problem was never intelligence? What if the blade was sharp, but the hand holding it was trembling, distracted, divided? What if you are not broken? You are simply not present? This is the truth most people never hear. And once you hear it, you cannot return to ignorance. You are not stupid. You just can't be present. And the samurai knew this long before you were born. They had a word for it. Zanshin. In the modern world, people drown in information and starve for awareness. They consume endlessly, books, videos, advice, yet feel weaker, slower, more confused than ever. They call it laziness. They call it lack of discipline. They call it low intelligence. The samurai called it something else. They called it a loss of mind. To them, stupidity was rare. Absence was common. A warrior who forgot himself for even a breath. A swordsman who let his attention wander. A man whose mind left the present moment, did not die because he lacked skill. He died because he was not there. Today, you may not stand on a battlefield with steel blades drawn. But make no mistake, you are still in a war. The battlefield has simply moved inside. Your enemy is distraction. Your enemy is fear disguised as noise. Your enemy is a fractured mind that lives everywhere except now. And every day, without realizing it, you bleed. The samurai did not train the body first. They trained attention. They understood something modern psychology is only now rediscovering. A divided mind cannot perform even simple tasks. A present mind can turn simplicity into mastery. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, did not win because he was the strongest or the fastest. He won because he never left the moment. When his opponent blinked, Musashi was already there. When fear whispered, Musashi did not listen. When the mind wandered, Musashi cut it back to silence. This was not talent. This was Zanshin. A state of continuous presence. Awareness before, during, and after action. A mind that does not collapse when the strike is over. Zanshin means, the mind that remains. Not tense. Not anxious. Not scattered. Remaining. Most people think their problem is understanding. I can't focus. I can't learn. I forget everything. I freeze under pressure. But these are symptoms, not causes. The cause is this. Your mind arrives late to your own life. You walk while thinking of yesterday. You work while imagining tomorrow. You speak while preparing your next sentence. You listen while arguing in your head. And then you wonder why nothing feels sharp. A sword swung by a man who is half elsewhere does not cut cleanly. The samurai understood this with brutal clarity. That is why their training was severe, repetitive, and quiet. Cold mornings. Endless forms. Silent breathing. One strike, thousands of times. Not to build muscle. To bind the mind to the moment. There is a story from Musashi's later years. He was asked by a young swordsman, "Master, what is the secret technique?" Musashi answered, "There is no secret technique." The student pressed, frustrated. "Then why do I lose?" Musashi looked at him and said, "Because you leave before the fight begins." The student did not understand. You must. Most people leave before the moment demands them. They abandon presence for comfort. They trade awareness for reassurance. They flee into thought, fantasy, memory, prediction. Zanshin is the refusal to flee. Zen monks trained this long before samurai carried it into war. They would sit for hours doing nothing. Not thinking. Not chasing insight. Not forcing peace. Simply staying. When the mind wandered, they returned. When boredom arose, they stayed. When discomfort screamed, they did not move. Why? Because a mind that cannot stay with silence, cannot stay with pressure, cannot stay with pain, cannot stay with truth. And life demands all four. You say you procrastinate. No, you escape. You say you overthink. No, you abandon the present to feel safe. You say you lack discipline. No, your attention has never been trained like a weapon. The samurai did not try to focus. They lived focus. When eating, they ate. When walking, they walked. When fighting, there was no fight, only movement. Zanshin is not effort. It is commitment to now. The Ronin, masterless samurai, understood this even deeper. Without a lord, without structure, without protection, they survived by clarity alone. No illusions. No noise. No mental excess. A Ronin who drifted into thought did not survive long. Presence was not philosophy. It was survival. And today, in a world that pulls your mind in 1,000 directions, you are closer to a Ronin than you realize. No guide. No certainty. No guarantees. Only this moment. The modern mind is overstimulated and undertrained. You think constantly, but rarely observe. You react instantly, but rarely choose. You consume endlessly, but rarely digest. Zanshin corrects this. It teaches you to remain after the action. To not collapse once the task is done. To stay awake when others fall asleep mentally. This is why most people fail not at the beginning, but after progress. They start strong. They lose presence. They fade. The samurai stayed. Fear is not the enemy. Absence is. Ego is not the enemy. Distraction is. Weakness is not the enemy. Unawareness is. The samurai did not eliminate fear. They watched it. They did not kill the ego. They ignored it. They did not deny weakness. They trained through it, one moment at a time. Zanshin is not emotional suppression. It is emotional clarity. Imagine sharpening a blade. If you rush, you ruin the edge. If you drift, you slip. If you lose patience, you cut yourself. Every stroke requires attention. Life is the same. Most people slice themselves open, not because life is cruel, but because they are not present for the movement. I will speak to you now as a master to a student. Not kindly. Not cruelly. Truthfully. Your intelligence is not the issue. Your presence is. You have trained everything except the one thing that matters most. You have trained opinions. You have trained reactions. You have trained consumption. You have not trained attention. So your mind collapses under pressure. So simple tasks feel heavy. So your potential feels locked. This is not fate. This is neglect. And neglect can be corrected. Here is the inner code. Not rules, principles. First, where you are, be fully there. No mental commentary. No escape. No rehearsal. Second, finish the moment. Do not mentally leave once the action ends. Remain. Third, slow the mind before speeding the body. Clarity first. Movement second. Fourth, accept discomfort without negotiation. Presence is built where resistance lives. Fifth, return without judgment. Every time the mind wanders, bring it back, silently. This is Zanshin. Not once. Always. You will fail at this. Often. The samurai failed too. But they did not insult themselves for wandering. They simply returned. Again. And again. And again. Mastery is not brilliance. Mastery is returning faster. When you work, do not multitask. When you listen, do not prepare to speak. When you train, do not fantasize about results. Be here. And stay. Over time, something changes. Tasks sharpen. Fear quiets. Confidence stabilizes. Not because you became smarter. Because you stopped leaving. At the end of Musashi's life, alone in a cave, he wrote, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye." He did not mean magic. He meant presence. The ability to sense before movement. To feel intention before action. To remain awake when others drift. This is Zanshin. And it is available to you, now. Not tomorrow. Not after more knowledge. Not after motivation. Now. Return to the hook. The edge of realization. You are not stupid. You never were. You were absent. And absence can end the moment you decide to stay. Remain. Here. Now. This is the way of the samurai. This is Zanshin. And from this moment forward, do not leave yourself again.